Hey, Indian Creek 8th grade students, it's Professor Blazek, and I'm here with our daily e-learning lesson. It is Friday, May 15th. It is the last Friday of the school year for all of you. There are some important updates for us to talk about. I know that for those of you who have been watching, and thank you, by the way, because I know it would be very easy to just say, well, we're pretty much done with the year. You know, we know the final things that we have to be doing in our classes, and I know that there's still a handful of you who tune in every day and watch, and I appreciate that. You know, it's one of those where even if it's not a specific educational lesson, it's still nice. You know, I feel like this is a way for you to hear from me and for me to still maintain that connection with all of you as my students until the end of the school year, which, like I said, is getting very close to the end. And you know, it was funny. I sent out the vocab, the final quiz yesterday, and one of the students put his name in and then put the phrase "one last time" in there, and I just thought that touched me because I mean it's from Hamilton. You know, I really like Hamilton. I know a lot of you really like it, but just, you know, the song that it's coming from and the idea that, you know, we are getting very close to the end of the school year, and you know, just got me thinking about all the things we missed out on, all the ways that you all have grown, just the fact that you all are going to be getting to go on to high school, and just, you know, how proud I am of everybody for all the things that they've been able to do this year. And then also, obviously, the regret that, you know, I feel like we didn't really get to see things all the way through until the end. But, you know, we'll talk more about that next week. Because I don't know how many of you saw or if your parents talked to you, but there were some big changes that came out of the district yesterday just regarding the end of your school year and more specifically your promotion ceremony into high school. So we'll talk about that in this video, and then you know, a lot of it otherwise is just going to be the same as the last few. So let's just jump into our review from yesterday. We had 41 people turned in the attendance form from yesterday, which is great. We're up to about half of the people have submitted their allegory chart. I know I've gotten a couple emails yesterday, either from students or from their parents, just about issues in Google Classroom to where somehow or another your allegory chart assignment or your chapter 10 response assignment was no longer attached in Google Classroom, and it wouldn't let you submit it. And so if you find yourself in that situation, please just either share it with me or write me an email where you include it in your Google Drive, because I have noticed that, for example, in a classroom with 18 students, after I've gone through and sent out an assignment that was supposed to go to everyone, where every student got their own copy, only 17 of the 18 got a copy of the assignment. And I don't know why specific students don't get copies made. It doesn't seem to always be the same. It just seems to be a little bit random. You know, I'm sure that Google Classroom and just Google in general is doing the best it can, just like we all are, but there might be some things that are missed out on. So if you are one of those people who didn't have a copy of an assignment shared with you, please let me know if you need me to send it to you again, or if you just need a new way to submit it, just include it in an email and share with me through your Google Drive, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so we're up to 35 people who have submitted their Chapter 10 response, and then 31 out of 51 have already submitted their Animal Farm character slide, which is great, because those are the three main assignments from our Animal Farm unit at the end there that you want to make sure that you get in. Those, I have started updating those in the grade book, but just remember, as long as you get it in by the end of the school year, they'll be scored and impacted into your final grade. All right, so then for today, we will be talking about the Google form that was sent out. I'll be giving you an update. We have our finalized class motto. Just a reminder about the optional vocab quiz. And then today for language arts, you want to be working on your Genius Hour projects. And then for social studies, you want to be working on your decades projects. And again, for either of those, if you feel like you're finished but would like feedback from myself or from the other social studies teachers, please email it to us and let us know. And we will be happy to look that over and give you feedback before your final submission. If you're to the point where you're done with one or both of those projects and you're ready to turn them in, go ahead and turn them in, and then that's your final piece of work really for both of those two projects. There will still be Google Forms that go out next week for language arts, but in terms of like your big final presentation, Genius Hour is really it. Okay, so again, like we have the last couple days, I'm not going to go over the journal responses, just again out of respect for people's privacy. But there were a lot of really good answers just in terms of the way you all feel like you've grown throughout the year. A lot of people talked about making new friends, about learning new things, about being more confident in themselves, figuring out the type of friendships that they want to keep, and discovering true friends. And so it was just really cool to get to read about all of the good things, the good growth that you all have made, the things that you've discovered. That it's so often, and I know we talked about this in language arts, but so often I feel like sometimes gets lost in what we expect out of school. Obviously we want you to learn about math, about language arts, about the subjects that we're teaching. But more than that, we want to be educating the whole student, and we want to help you grow as a complete person. And so to know that so many of you, the biggest change that you're taking away from yourself is related to some kind of personal growth that's going to impact you for the rest of your life, that is really good to know as a teacher. And I hope that we all had a part in helping you along that way. So again, those are really, really nice to get to read. And that'll transition us into our Google form for today. So you'll notice the very top of this looks very much the same, part 1, part 2, part 3. For Animal Farm, again, allegory chart, your final writing response, and then the character slide. Just a reminder to be working on Genius Hour, that there is a rubric in Google Classroom for you to look over before you submit. The optional vocab quiz, which we had, I want to say, I'll jump over real quick. We had 9 students yesterday who took it. All of them passed, which was great. So congratulations to those 9, and thank you for that extra work that you put in. Anybody else, remember, it's running until Wednesday. So you have 5 whole days to get that in, and it would be a very nice boost to your grade for the end of the year if you were to take it upon yourself to do that optional extra assignment. So then that leaves us with our attendance response for today. Final response for this week is, if you could give the incoming 8th graders one piece of advice to help them navigate their 8th grade year, what would it be and why? So we've been doing a lot of reflection this week just about your 8th grade year, your highlights, some of the things you wish you could change, ways that you felt you could change. And so now it's kind of, you get to take everything that you have been thinking about with your 8th grade year, and if you were going to try and help the class below you who's coming up and give them one piece of advice, what would it be? It can be relating to a certain class. It can just be relating to, more a piece of life advice that you feel like would be important. But just one piece of advice for them, what would it be and why? I know some of you, maybe in the past, you've had teachers who have asked you to write letters to the incoming students. To me, this is kind of the same thing. This kind of like the e-learning version of that. So that is your journal response for today. And then, so the next thing I want to talk about actually is the final vote for the class motto. And our winning class motto, as voted on by all of you, it was very close, but the highest scoring motto was the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So that will be the 8th grade class motto. It'll be printed in the promotion booklets, and it was chosen by you. So thank you to those of you who voted, which it looks like it was literally everyone. And that is the class motto that you have chosen. Now, speaking of promotion, and this I know went out yesterday, but I wanted to touch on this here just in case any of you hadn't heard about this, either yourselves or from your parents, because this is something that impacts you. This is a letter that was sent out yesterday from the district, to where we are, as a district, we are still hoping that there is going to be a formal promotion ceremony on July 28th. Obviously that's going to depend on, what phase the state is in, and if large group gatherings are allowed and to what extent and all that sort of stuff. But this letter is informing you that the district is also proceeding with a virtual ceremony that allows you to still have the opportunity to come into the gym, put your gown on, get a video taken of you walking across the stage, getting your diploma, getting a picture, very similar to what the high school has done over the last few days for the seniors in their graduation. So, there's a lot of things that are in this letter. Just for those of you, the district obviously wants to follow the safety guidelines. And so this is voluntary, so you don't need to participate if you don't want to, or if you have other things going on. This is just meant to give you the opportunity to be recognized and to have the video taken of you in the picture in the event that the promotion ceremony is not allowed to go forward on July 28th. So just some of the things to know. No more than 10 people are going to be allowed in the building. So with the 3 staff members who will be there, it can only be a student plus 6 family members. You need to have a mask or a face covering on when you enter the building and stay at least 6 feet away from the staff members who are there. Here it mentions that you can remove the mask when you're on the stage by yourself to pick up your diploma and be photographed, but otherwise you're going to need to be wearing your mask. The time for this is actually from 10 to 12:30 and then 1:30 to 3 on Wednesday and Friday of next week. And then just a reminder that this is strictly a promotion related event. So there's no dropping off of materials or locker cleaning out at this time. That's still going to go forward based on the schedule that was sent out. I think it was last week. So don't worry about bringing all your materials or get ready to clean out your locker. This is just strictly to give you the chance to have yourself recorded and photographed, picking up your diploma, again, in the event that the July 28th date does not work out. All right, and then there is a note at the bottom that just says if you and your family would like to have the chance to iron or to de-wrinkle the gown before you actually wear it, because I will be honest, they can be quite wrinkly and creased and folded because it's not the thickest of materials. You can call the office at 815-264-3351 between 8 and 3:30 to arrange a pickup time. So if you or one of your parents wants to go in, pick up the gown, just call the office, let them know, they'll give you a time, and then you'll be able to take care of that at a safe social distance as well. All right, so we are moving forward with a virtual promotion ceremony. Part of that is we're also going through and calculating the valedictorian and salutatorian, the number 1 and number 2 students in terms of GPA in the class. They will be getting the chance to give speeches. There will also be an invocation, which is like an introductory speech, and then a benediction, which is like a closing speech or closing prayer. Those are students who will be invited as well based on academic merits and other considerations. There will be awards that are being prepared and all those sorts of things. So a lot really going on. Myself, the other eighth grade teachers, Mr. Simpson, the office staff, Mrs. Witzig, are all working on getting that together. But just wanted to make sure that we got the word out to you here for those of you who are watching, in addition to sending that letter out yesterday. All right. So just be checking your email. And then obviously, if you're interested in taking part in the virtual promotion ceremony, the times are listed, and so you want to start planning those out with your parents and family members as well. All right, if you have any questions about that, please email myself, call into the office. We're all gonna do the best we can to get you an answer to any questions you might have. All right, so again, just a reminder, language arts, you have your Google form. Keep on keeping on with Genius Hour. We're so close to the end. If you have any questions or want me to look anything over, please email me. And then for social studies, you want to be working on your decades project. All right. It is Friday. I hope everyone has a great long weekend. Like I said, if you need anything in the meantime, we're all here to do what we can for you. Last Friday of eighth grade year, and that means that I'll be back next week for our last few e-learning videos of your eighth grade year. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope everyone stays safe and stays healthy. As always, I miss getting to see your faces, and I'm sad that we're getting close to the end, but also glad that you're going to get the chance to have your virtual promotion ceremony and move forward with that. So like I said, everyone have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Until then, this has been Professor Blazek signing